What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lineman Life. I am your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate everybody for being here today. Do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't already done so. And if this is your first time on the stream, welcome. And think about subscribing. Why not? We just hit 20,000. Trying to keep climbing, so appreciate that support. Share this. Let your friends know. Bring them on in. We're going to talk. There's plenty to talk about, obviously, in the sporting world. Yesterday, we had the NBA Finals. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Finals MVP, wins the championship game for the Milwaukee Bucks last night. That was an amazing game to watch, an amazing historic finals performance, especially in the closeout game for Giannis. But we'll get to that. But there is some breaking news that just kind of hit the headlines just in the last hour or so, I believe. And that is Texas and Oklahoma. Two Big 12, historical Big 12 teams have decided to reach out to the SEC in order to try and join it. Got an article here from Barstool Sports reporting on it. We're going to go through it here, give you my thoughts. I think this is an interesting development for the Big 12 because, I mean, once these two teams leave, you got to figure that entire unless they can get teams to come in from like a lower conference, because, I mean, if these two teams aren't in the Big 12, who's going to go, like, what big team from any other conference is going to choose to go to the Big 12? Not any. So they'll probably have to pull from lower divisions. But let's take a look at this article. Texas and Oklahoma have reached out in an attempt to join the SEC. That just sounds weird. We got a tweet here from Brent Zwernman. It says, Houston Chronicle exclusive, Texas, Oklahoma reach out to SEC about joining conference. It says here, well, this seemingly came out of nowhere. True. According to the Houston Chronicle, Texas and Oklahoma have reached out to the SEC in an attempt to join the conference, and it sounds like it's a little further along than just a rumor. Houston Chronicle says Texas and Oklahoma of the Big 12 have both reached out to the Southeastern Conference about potentially joining the powerful league. A high-ranking college official with knowledge of the situation told the Houston Chronicle on Wednesday. An announcement could come within a couple of weeks concerning the potential addition of UT and OU to the league, the person said, which would give the SEC 16 schools and make it the first of a national super conference. Damn. Is that what we're doing now? Super conferences. Couple of weeks. Is this actually going to happen? If Texas and OU actually become part of the SEC, it would be the biggest move in college sports probably in my lifetime. The ramifications would be immeasurable. It's entirely possible all the other Power 5 leagues would scramble to create super conferences of their own and try to get the remaining teams from the Big 12. The 16-team SEC football season would be incredible. Texas would be forced to play Texas A&M again, and in addition to all the other great matchups these teams would produce. Now, that is true. I actually, that is definitely the upside of it. You will see week in and week out just top billing battles between teams in the SEC, because you've got like literally the entire South and Southwest major universities that are going to be a part of the conference. So it would be interesting. It would be a big moneymaker. I mean, I could see that, but like many things in capitalism, it's going to mean that there will eventually be only three conferences in Division I football that really mean anything. That'll be the Pac-12, the Big Ten, which will probably grow, and then the SEC. Those will be the only like conferences at some point, because it's gonna be an arms race. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey was asked about the report at SEC Media Days, and he definitely didn't say it was false. Here's a tweet. SEC Commish Greg Sankey on Houston Chronicle report about Texas, Oklahoma inquiring about joining the SEC. We're only worried about the 2021 season. Somebody dropped a report from unnamed people. Oh, yeah, it's happening. This was so sudden and out of left field, I didn't even really know what I think about it. It would be great for the SEC and casual college football fans who want to see the best teams play often. But if you're a fan of another Big 12 team, this is most certainly not good news. I remember the rumor when I was in college that, was that the SEC was trying to get Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, but that Texas was never going to leave its spot as the cash cow of the Big 12. But if this actually comes to fruition, what a coup it would be for Southern college football. Apparently, Texas and Oklahoma could be coming to an SEC campus near you pretty soon. What a world. Yeah. That's crazy. That is crazy to like imagine that, especially with Texas, for me, to see that the Big 12, which literally these two teams are like, they are the Big 12 in many respects for a long time. But it would be crazy to see them leave the Big 12 and be a part of the SEC. But at the same time, you would have damn. If Texas can get its shit together, then you possibly could have a 16-team conference that has like 65% of them ranked in like the top 10. Like there'd only be like 3 or 4 spots for teams from other conferences, and that would be wild. That would definitely be wild. But again, I think that's just that creates a domino effect. So you're gonna have teams from, say, I don't know, the ACC just all start joining the Big Ten. You know, the rest of the whatever team, like Miami. What if Miami joined the Big Ten? That would be crazy. You know, Pac-12, obviously, I mean, they'd probably get the leftovers, but there's a couple teams out there that they could grab onto as well. So this could be a blueprint for the future of college football, because now it's going to be big time money. Now there's going to be big money on the table now with the NIL rules and players being able to get money. Hell, there's the quarterback from Alabama who's damn near got $1 million in endorsements already. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And these were things that we only heard about once every, like, we heard about this kind of thing one time when I was in college, about players being able to get paid. And right when I left Purdue, that was when that's when Nebraska had a bill that was going through that was supposed to allow that, but I think it ended up getting vetoed, if I'm not mistaken, by the governor, because I think it was Frank Solich, I believe. Was it? I think it was one of the historically, famous Nebraska head coaches that got into politics and actually brought that bill to the legislature, and it passed, and then it got vetoed, I think. But that's pretty cool stuff. I mean, it just makes it a bigger market for a bigger pie for the major universities, of course. So capitalism is working as it should. They're gonna start making that bread, that super bread with super conferences. Also, another story that's noteworthy to mention as we get into all of this is Maria Taylor. Maria Taylor, who's been negotiating with ESPN to get a new contract, having the entire situation, the drama with her and Rachel Nichols, and just overall the dysfunction at ESPN generally, they have officially parted ways. Maria Taylor, leaving ESPN Network, announces. ESPN said Taylor's last assignment for the network was her NBA Finals telecast during Game 6. Yeah, they extended her. They extended her contract just to like finish the finals, because initially she was going to be like done if there was a Game 7. So they extended it one more game. So she get a little bit of cash on the way out the door, I guess, maybe. I doubt it. They probably was like, look, if it don't play, then you don't get that. But a lot of drama. Like, I have a slightly different perspective, as many of you know, about that situation with Rachel Nichols. Again, I thought from how I listened to that recording, I got the feel that it was her taking a shot at ESPN because ESPN is screwing up, not particularly at Maria Taylor. Her name was mentioned only because she was the one that was getting, that she was being asked to like step aside to allow Maria Taylor. And of course, I think anybody who's in that situation, especially if they feel like they're contractually obligated, they're going to be like, well, what the fuck? But, in that situation, of course, any complaint in that is going to make her look bad. And that's how it played out in the public. And, she got sidelined from the NBA Finals, from hosting it. And from there, we've just seen the whole thing play out with really the contract situation not really ever getting where it was supposed to be because she wanted to get Stephen A. Smith level money, which is, quite frankly, a ridiculous thing to ask when you compare what the two of them actually bring to the table. If we're purely talking about production here, I mean, production-wise, for their bottom line, Stephen A. Smith is the golden calf. Is as wild as he can be with his ridiculous takes. That element still actually is popular because it creates such drama, and that gives them attention, and that's what they're looking for. So that really was just kind of a ridiculous ask to think that they would give her $12 million a year. So let's take a look at this article real quick. Sports reporter Maria Taylor is leaving ESPN after she and the network failed to reach an agreement on contract extension. The company announced Wednesday, of course. So thankful to Jimmy Pitaro and all my great teammates and friends at the SEC Network, College Game Day, women's and men's college basketball, and the NBA Countdown family. The people who believed in me, encouraged me, pushed me, and lifted me up, Taylor said in a statement. Words are inadequate to express my boundless appreciation, and I hope to make them proud. And that's her statement. Pretty vanilla. That's kind of what you expect. I mean, it's not like I didn't expect her to start dropping bombs on the way out the door. I mean, that's not going to look good in the negotiations that she's supposed to be having with NBC. Says earlier this month, the network announced Taylor would return as a pregame halftime host for the NBA Finals, which wrapped Tuesday night with the Milwaukee Bucks taking the championship. ESPN said in its statement Wednesday that Taylor's last assignment for the network was her finals telecast during Game 6. Maria's remarkable success speaks directly to her abilities and work ethic. There is no doubt we will miss Maria, but we will remain determined to continue to build a deep and skilled talent roster that thoroughly reflects the athletes we cover, the fans we serve. While she chose to pursue a new opportunity, we're proud of the work we've done together, network chairman Jimmy Pitaro said in a statement. And we know the rest. The rest of this is just about the drama with Rachel Nichols. We already been through all that. I mean, the rumor is that it's the the NBC station is in that they're at the half yard line, quote unquote, in regards to her signing a new contract. Where is that at? Let's see. I saw it somewhere. But it's pretty much, it's over with for her at ESPN. Honestly, I think, after that whole situation and the way it played out, I just don't think that there's a way that you can really fix that stench that comes from that. Because, regardless of the perspective you take, it is still an ugly situation at ESPN with their entire network. Their network, they tend to react just they swing too far when they react. They try to like overtly put their messaging about diversity, inclusion, all that. That's cool. Do it. But when you start just dropping bricks that just say diversity all over the place, and then we look behind the wall you built, and there's nothing but, fuckery going on. it makes them look bad. And that situation has been making them look bad since it broke, and we probably won't hear the end of it until the last part of it plays out with Maria Taylor signing a new contract. So we'll see how that plays out with the NBC thing. But now we move on to the biggest news, obviously, in sports right now. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the Bucks to the damn promised land, getting them to the NBA title. And it's interesting because there's a lot of things that you've heard said, well, you may have heard said about Giannis from players around the NBA, from commentators, all of the like. And for better or for worse, he has far exceeded what we expected, especially with the performance he gave in this last finals game. But somebody who I never expected to hear him go off this cliff when talking about players in the NBA because of his almost devout loyalty to LeBron James, Nick Wright actually gave Giannis props, actually paid him his due, because right now Giannis is the best player in the NBA. And to hear him say it, I thought was very interesting. So let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it after he's done, because, I mean, what that cat did last night, I mean, he willed it. I mean, and look, he had help. Middleton helped. Guys played their role. Guys played enough produced enough that as much as Phoenix fought back, because look, Phoenix was fighting back. Like, it was not going away. When they were up 9, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're about to blow this thing open. Nope, Phoenix comes right back. Now it's a 3-point game. Now it's a 5-point game. Now it's a 2-point game. And Giannis would not have been able to just carry it like literally by himself if the role players on that team weren't actually playing their role, which they were. What was his name? Bobby something. Bobby Parker, I think his name was. Bobby Parker, yeah, Bobby Parker Jr. This cat, I mean, really, if he don't score 16 like he did, it's not the same game. And that's not a cat that you expect to score 16 every night out on the court. That cat played his role. He played the X factor for them to get that championship. And Giannis, of course, he had the bulk load of the work, and he made the plays that only he can make. But man, that was a team effort. If nothing else, that was like teamwork personified. Every cat did their part when they had to. There was one sequence where Middleton, Middleton got caught in that frantic flow in the second half, and he turned the ball over. He missed a shot, and they called the timeout because he was playing hero ball, and they settled down, and they didn't go away from him because he missed and turned the ball over. What they did was they ran a play for him. So they didn't go away. They ran a play. They ran a play for him specifically, and that was the biggest jumper that he hit probably in his career, because that was the jumper that gave them the separation again that they needed, because it was a crucial moment. It was a crucial moment in the game, and that was huge. But let's hear what Nick Wright got to say.
If you don't have, an agenda, if you're looking at this neutrally, as I always try to do, even though I'm constantly accused of having an agenda, Giannis has checked every box. Giannis gets the title. I do
Sneak
too,
diss.
because I'm just a fair and
Sneak dissing over there. I hear you. He said, "I wonder why," because he be jocking LeBron.
checked every box. Giannis gets the title. I don't know. I do too, because I'm just a fair and honest arbiter of sports truths. And if you are not willing, this is the generic you, if one is not willing to call Giannis the best player on the planet right now, when his last 3 years are MVP, MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and then Finals MVP, one of the most statistically dominating finals we've ever seen, and oh yeah, 50 points in a closeout game, which was his third 40-plus point performance of the series. If that's not enough to call this 26-year-old super freak the best player in basketball, then what that means is you decided he's ineligible for it. That for one reason or another, you decided he does not deserve to join this list. Because I think they said we have it. Oh, we don't have the full screen, but the list of the best player alive. Only 14 guys have ever held the title. I don't have to go through all of them. I would argue Broussard, LeBron has held it for 14 years since the 48 special against Detroit.
Oh, God. Yeah, he couldn't leave that out. He couldn't leave that part out. He had to make sure he gave the caveat for LeBron. Nick Wright, you never disappoint.
Fans would push back, so that's fine. Then say he's only held it for 9 years since the 45-15-5 against Boston right before he won the title.
There's another video of him here. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, I think this is it right here. What's going on? I don't know what's going on with that. All right, let's see what else they got to say.
With, like you said, the greatest game of his life. Can we show our cool little Price is Right mountain climber guy? Because Giannis, every game of these finals got better. First game, it was like, oh, he's healthy. Thank goodness he's healthy. But 20 and 17.
No, I mean, I'm glad they put this up here because I mean this is really the story of a player just gaining confidence and just doing more and doing more. I mean, this dude had a knee injury. He had a hyperextended knee, and that was against the Brooklyn Nets. And talk about a team effort. They went 2 games without him and won both of them. I mean, that they literally did climb the proverbial playoff mountain, and at each step they took on a bigger challenge and beat that challenge. They took on higher odds, and then they beat the odds. Like, there was a point last night watching the game where I just thought to myself, it's their destiny. It doesn't even matter at this point. Even with it still being like a 5-point game with like 3 minutes left, it didn't matter. Like, they could not stop Giannis, and these cats were hitting every shot they put up. And then in the one spot you expect Giannis to struggle, obviously, with free throws, dude was like, he only missed 2. 17 for 19, I think he was. I mean, that is locked in. That's legendary focus. That's GOAT focus. That's like trying to be the best, period. And if you look at his stats and you look at what he was doing, and you just look at how his presence on the court changes the flow for the offense and the defense, I mean, the dude there's a good argument that he's the best player in the NBA, like, overall, at almost every way you look at it. He is the best overall player. He can score, he plays defense, he got defensive MVP, he got he can dish the ball off. I mean, he had 5 blocks? He had 3 40-plus games in one series. Shit.
Oh, we're doing the yodeling too. Then it's a 40-point game.
Oh, nice.
But they lose.
Oh, that was the Hawks. My bad. Yeah, the Hawks. For some reason, I keep forgetting they played Atlanta. I don't know why. Maybe because it's Atlanta, and Atlanta sports, it's traumatizing.
Then it's another 40-point game, and he's done only what Shaq and LeBron did. Then he had the block, then he had the oop, and then a 50-point game to get to the top of the mountaintop. And Broussard mentioned it. And I tried to get my other colleagues to ask me about the greatest closeout finals performances ever before, but they wouldn't do it. But Broussard opened the door, so I'm going to walk through it. Like, not in order, but we can take the music off. The chronological order it would be, you heard it on the broadcast, Bob Pettit scored 50, one that gets forgotten, Broussard. No, please take it off.
Yeah,
And take the graphic off, please. The Willis Reed game was actually the Walt Frazier game. When Walt Frazier in a Game 7 of the finals had 36, 7, and 19.
Maybe somebody can answer this question for me. Why is Brandon Marshall why is Brandon Marshall on the damn NBA Finals review? I mean, I know he's on the show. That just seems odd. Like, I don't know, maybe he hooped. Maybe he's a hooper. I mean, he probably loves it anyway, so shoot.
Magic, I think, is the gold standard. Game 7, as a rookie, no Kareem, but you mentioned Jamal Wilkes. I think there are Game 6, pardon me. Thank you, Bruce.
All right. They're going into much more than I really need to hear when talking about this. But also, again, like I said, there are people who had things to say about Giannis. And this is somebody right here who's been getting lit up because of what he said about Giannis. And here we go. This is a tweet that I definitely liked seeing. Championships since this interview. Giannis 1, Harden 0. I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what he said here, but if you didn't know what he said, then just listen to the disrespect that comes out of this cat's mouth when he's talking about a fellow professional athlete.
But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all. I got to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill, you know? I take that any day.
Let's hear it one more time. He's like literally like completely just talking bad about Giannis's game and what people who are jealous generally do when they're asked a question that doesn't gratify them. They tend to disregard the achievements of the person that you're actually like asking them about to try and lower them under their bar, which, you know, at this level, this kind of basketball, you definitely that's a mistake more often than not.
But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all. I got to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill, you know? I take that any day.
I got to actually learn how to play basketball. I wish I could just run and dunk, be 7 feet and run and dunk. That takes no skill. It actually does take skill to consistently be a good dunker. Like, if nobody has taught you that, then let Giannis teach you that, because his blocks were against dunks. Some of his blocks were against dunks. The biggest block he had was against a two-handed, straight to the rim dunk in clutch, and he shut that down. So James Harden, as you know, as the saying goes, he bit off a little bit more than he can chew, because not only did he fail at Houston, he left Oklahoma, where they couldn't get a title, went to Houston, became the centerpiece, failed, got mad, forced a trade, went to Brooklyn, did his thing. He did Harden, the Harden doing Harden, and they failed, and they got put out by the Bucks. So it's, you know, it's jealousy. It's jealousy. That's the only thing that really I can think of, and it makes sense, because that's what people who are haters, that's what they do. They're going to talk, like, you don't talk bad about somebody you know is good. Like, you know they're good. You know that he's good. He's tall, and he's physically, you know, I guess you could say he's physically superior to you, but he also has the talent to match it, and the determination, and the heart, and the loyalty to the one team that gave him a chance, drafted him into the NBA, and made him the centerpiece, and tried to get him help to get to the top of the mountain, and now they're at the top of the mountain. Now they're at the top of the mountain. They don't have to go run off and be part of a super team. Giannis explains it better.
It means a lot. You know, this started like almost like a joke at first. You know, like it was like I think a Nike ad, and he was sending like challenge to players, to Isaiah Thomas, DeMar DeRozan, and all that. And I was like, yeah, let me just shoot my shot. You know, kind of like, was my challenge. And he was like MVP, but at first I was like joking. I didn't thought he's gonna respond to me, but when he did, he made me believe. Like I'm like, Kobe Bryant thinks I can do this. I can play in the higher level and lead my team and win the MVP. You know, and I had to do it. You know, I had to work hard. You know, and not necessarily let him down. I had to work hard because people believe that I can do it. You know, and that's the thing. I'm a people pleaser. You know, I don't like letting people down. I don't like letting, like, when I resigned with the city of Milwaukee, that's the main reason I resigned, because I didn't want to let the people down and think that, you know, I don't work extremely hard for them, which I do. You know, but be able to accomplish those things in this period of time it's crazy. It's unreal. It's freaking unreal. I can't believe it.
Giannis talking about Kobe inspiring him. Now that's not the video I was looking for. Actually, I'm looking for. Let's see here.
I hope I give people around the world.
Oh no, this isn't the one either. Damn, I thought I had this video queued up. Thought I had it queued where he's talking about the super teams. Let's see. Well, let me check this one. This is the full interview. Let's see if I can pull up the spot real quick. Be-doop. All right.
I'm not, but person, every kid, every the street. You like, and now I'm here, sitting in the top of the top, you know, and I'm extremely blessed, and that's why I can never everybody around the world hope.
As a pro,
Don't get jealous.
you play point guard. You came off the bench. You know, you've developed to this point.
Hold on, I'm trying to find where.
The G League, I want to develop, and tonight he believed in me and believed in my family. Brought a kid that came to the team, line, and Coach Bud. It was a 3-year process. I can't stop. That's like my personality. I'm not stopping.
Just as a quick, I'm sure it was with.
So, Jim Paskey, Coach Saint, you know, I love you too. You know, try to get them out of the struggle. You know, the challenge. You know, I'm going to be 26 years old. You know, not even winning, just being a part of this, ever when I'll be 26. You know, I'll be sitting. We've come a long way.
You, when thinking about the diaspora of Africa to the continent and what.
My country, both countries, Nigeria, but not just from Nigeria, should make.
I'm gonna get back to that. I want to hear what you have to say about that.
And no matter your career, might be basketball, might be anything, just believe on what you're doing. Keep working. Every person, every kid, anybody around the world too, like believe in the dreams. You know, and no matter like whatever you feel, when you feel down, when things don't look like it's gonna happen for you, or you might not make it in your career, might be basketball, might be anything. Just believe on what you're doing, keep working. You know, don't let nobody tell you what you can be and what you cannot do. You know, people told me I can't make free throws. I made my free throws tonight. And I'm a freaking champion.
Damn right.
I made them and I'm supposed to make it. You know, but I'm joking. Actually, I'm not, but yeah, just believe, man. Just I hope I give people around the world, from Africa, from Europe, give them hope. You know, and my mom was selling the top of the top.
Oh.
I didn't know where my next move will come from.
So this part we're easy to talk about here. I heard him talk about this last night. You know, talking about his story. He's talking about how he came up and, you know, and got to the point where he is now. You know, this is the thing that, you know, when I talked about Emmanuel Achu and what he said, this is what I meant. Like, this guy's story is the story that people gravitate towards because it's the story of somebody, you know, defeating the odds, somebody beating the odds, somebody who had, you know, a number of different things that could have went left to deter his career. You know, he was living in poverty. I mean, this is what people, you know, this is relatable. This is things that people can relate to today. You know, people who are, you know, who struggle month to month to make ends meet. You know, that's the struggle. Everybody's been a part of it, has had the struggle at some point. Very few have it, but everybody's had to struggle. Shit, I've had to struggle before. Shit, like it's those are the things that when you see somebody who's reached this level of achievement, and has this much humility about himself and has this much, you know, eloquence about how he approaches his daily life. I mean, people relate to that because that's something to aspire to. Like, you know, I always think back to the 2011 NBA Finals when my Mavericks beat the Heat. And, you know, for Dallas fans, Dirk's story is similar in a way that he was a player that kind of people in the NBA, players in the NBA certainly, kind of was capping on him because of how they thought a basketball player who's his size should be playing. They called him soft, this and that. Man, he went head up with the Heat. And when the plays had to be made, he made them. And that's the same thing here with Giannis. You got players talking about, oh, it's only because of this, like, but he's not really like, you know, they're not looking at him as the real deal. And he proved them all wrong the entire playoff series, all of the series. He did the same. He just got better and better. So, I mean, people can relate to that, especially now. Especially now, people can relate to that. I don't know many who wouldn't. And that's why he can be the face of the NBA. That's why he can be the face. And he is. It's his NBA now. It's his NBA now. So, you know, LeBron been on break for like a month. Shoot. Already.
You know, my mom was selling stuff in the street. And now I'm here sitting in the top of the top. You know, and I'm extremely blessed. And that's why I'm extremely blessed. If I
We got Heat fans in the building. Oh, man. That was glorious. That was so glorious. I was at Game 3, sitting right behind LeBron, front row, talking shit.
If I never have a chance to sit on this table ever again, I'm fine with it. You know, I'm fine with it. But, like, I hope this can give everybody around the world hope. I mean, I allow them to believe in their dreams.
Vince in the middle.
Hey, Giannis, your journey as a pro.
Don't get jealous.
Basically from the moment that you got to the NBA.
Where is the part where he talks about?
I went to the front office and told them to. I was 18. I started in the. I've played point guard. I've flashed from the corner to lead. I had to do a little bit of everything. Man. John Hammond that drafted me and believed homesick, and I was alone. Credit to Larry Drew, Jason Kidd that came to the team. I developed other parts in my game. You know, just be done.
I want to go through the whole thing, but I mean, I really wanted to get to the
that,
part where he talked about, let me see. Maybe it's this one. Is it this one? I really want to talk about the part where he goes on about that super team mess.
No. But man, not even winning, just being with
continent. And what do you think this
supposed to make?
You play point guard,
and my game, you know.
Well, could you imagine it happening for you the way that it's happened?
Wanted to see our families, and
You mentioned your teammates.
He pushes me to be like past the point. But once we're done enjoying this, over with, done. It's in the past.
And then 2 years after you made it again, what does that mean for you to have someone like Kobe Bryant?
You know, and that's the thing.
R.I.P. Kobe.
I'm a people pleaser. I saw that every day. Like, I can be stubborn sometimes. this is time to partay. Tearing up. But like people helped me to be in this position. That I can go back in time in my rookie year. And a lot of people going to come after us. And we have to be ready for that. And do that too. No, but
I can't. What,
that I can go back.
It totally is eluding me right now.
I gotta know, like how little kids are very so honest. You know, after the right here, PJ. Like to let the people down.
Damn, if somebody got it on, I mean,
that,
what
know,
the hell? This thing was
no,
all
man.
over the place last night.
What do you think about, do you know what you represent?
Playing, and like I was just happy just being a part. Like, man, no, man, no. I started playing basketball, and now I'm here, sitting in the top of the top. You know,
You want to have another intimate moment with your developed to.
You know, I've not played.
I don't know what I'm missing here. What am I
come
missing?
off the bench. When I was 18, I started in the slash from the corners, and I've done it all, and drafted me and believed in me and in my game. You know, get into the rim, shoot the mid-range shot.
I don't know what the hell.
You know, just be dominant, get to the free throw line, and Coach Bud. You know, Coach Bud believed.
When he asked for a trade, right? Yeah.
But we got it done. I want to thank all of these guys, and as I said, I've done it all on the court. I've done it all off the court, and I'm keep going. I can't stop. That's like my personality. I'm not stopping.
Just as a quick follow-up.
Yes.
When you re-signed your
There we
contract,
go.
your extension,
I think this is.
I'm sure it was with this in mind. Well, could you imagine it happening for you the way that it's happened?
No.
Yeah, this is the part. This is what I think.
I couldn't live. You know, there was a job that had to be finished. You know, I feel like the Bible did not pay us justice. You know, we give credit to Miami Heat. They played great, but he did not pay us justice. Like everybody was feeling homesick. We're a family-oriented team. We wanted to see our families, but you know, coming back, I was like, this is my city. You know, they trust me. They believed in me. They believed in us. Even when we were lost, the city still was like on our side. And you know, obviously, I wanted to get the job done. You know, but that's my stubborn side. Like it's easy to go somewhere and go and win a championship with somebody else. It's easy. I could go. I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but I could go to a super team, and you know, just do my part and win a championship. Still won. But this is the hard way to do it, and this is the way we chose to do it, and we did it.
You damn right. Finally got the clip. No, everything he says there that's how I've felt over the past 10 years of seeing this whole, when that whole, and look, some people will say, oh, the Boston Celtics, they had a super team before the Miami Heat. Those guys those guys came together, yes, to play in Boston, but all three of those guys at that time, how many of them would you put at the number 1 or number 2 spot at their position? I wouldn't have called Ray Allen a top 3 guard, but I would call him a number 1, like a number 1, number 2 shooter for sure. But overall, he plays good defense at times, but it's not the same Ray Allen that he was. He was in his prime, but at the back end of his prime. And then, Paul Pierce is you can debate whether all three of these guys were number 1 or number 2 at their positions. But those guys also, they came together a little bit more organically than what we saw with Miami. With Miami, you had a superstar for the first time kind of setting the stage to just go get a couple of other perennial all-stars and team up to win a championship, which, luck would have it that my Mavericks would have to play them first. But, we got it done. And we got it done in the same way that Giannis has got it done with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Mavericks did it in a lot of the same ways. They had Tyson Chandler, yes. But, Tyson Chandler's a defensive player. He's not a scorer. He's not a two-sides guy necessarily. And, you know, this was a team that revolved around one star. And that one star stayed there his whole career because he wanted to get a championship. And that's what Giannis did. And I respect that kind of championship run a lot more than seeing like 3 of like the top 10 players on one team. 3 of the top 10 in the league on one team with like 2 or 3 other all-star level, but maybe not the top of the top at their position on the bench, coming off the bench. I mean, and you see these guys bouncing around from superpower to superpower. I mean, KD, a guy who people have set these lofty expectations for, and still has yet to get himself a ring. I mean, he did get himself a ring. I mean, I don't really count it because he went ring chasing. He didn't even like they could have won that ring without him. Did he? I mean, yes, he's going to play lights out, but I mean, that Golden State team didn't have enough to win a championship with outside of him. Absolutely, they did. That was a team that was already of championship pedigree. They had already gotten a couple championships. You know what I mean? So it was, you know, seeing guys bounce around. You know, you saw, you know, Russell Westbrook, and I mean, hell, now they're talking about Russell Westbrook probably potentially going to the Lakers too. Like, what is this? Is this real? Like, how do you have the money? How do you have the money? A win is a win. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's still a championship. Yeah, not all championships are not created equal in the court of public opinion. Let me just put it like that. It's fine. It's on the paper. We all know they won it, but we also know that y'all won it from having a loaded a stacked talent with your roster from bottom to top. And with all these cats who've been playing for, you know, 6, 8, 10 years, who have been good players, not, you know, necessarily great players, all just running to go ride the gravy train to the championship. I mean, come on. Let's be real. When a team, when there is when there's a traditional build for a team to go out and compete for a championship, traditional builds that we've seen for decades and decades and decades now, 75 years, that have shown that when you have these rosters that have these all-time greats on them, generally it's not like they planned it that way. It came together for them. They made their draft picks and they strategically, you know, tried to build as a team, but they didn't just wait till free agency and go sign up all the cats they could and load their roster up with them. So you see teams actually climb that ladder of progress to become a championship caliber team. And usually you see that happen in like these 4-year windows. 4-year windows generally where teams build up to win a championship, and then if they can maintain, they get another, you know, generally another 4 years to try and create a dynasty out of that championship. And it's kind of ebbs and flows like that. But, you know, the Bucks, I mean, they're going to be an attractive team for 1 or 2 who believe that they can bring their talents to Milwaukee. And I'm not saying 1 or 2 isn't 2 being signed at the same time. I'm saying 1 or 2 individually who will find some interest in coming to Milwaukee and will likely take less money to do so because they know what kind of teammate they're getting. And sometimes that matters a lot more to players. Like, when you know that you have a guy like this who has been an exemplary teammate, who has practiced what he preaches, and provides the level of dedication, the level of focus, the level of will to push his team the way he did and to push himself the way he did. You know, you generally want to go play with that to play with it more than you want to go over there to make money. You know that there's greatness associated with that. And, you know, and a lot of times when you have people in the front office who are putting these teams together, you know, they the goal is to build around him as the nucleus, and you're an added part to help, but he's the nucleus. So even, so it's almost like it wouldn't work if you brought another, cream of the crop superstar around, because they're going to want theirs. You saw what happened with Chris Paul and James Harden in Houston. Everybody was, predicting that was going to be something. Everybody was thinking that was going to be something. And that was just a floundering fart in the wind with Houston the whole time that they were there. And now look at it. Houston doesn't got anything to be happy about. Nothing. Not no basketball, not no baseball, not no football. Shit, they about to be Detroit here in a minute. If they don't watch it, they about to be Detroit. That's going to be ugly. That's going to be ugly if they are. But the whole super team thing, I feel like it is overblown to an extent where if that's not the default for a lot of teams that want to compete, then they feel like there's no other way to do it. But this shows you right here that even now in 2021, if you have a 7-man, 8-man rotation, a level of depth that provides for good bench play, and you have a central nucleus player that you want that actually you believe can lead you to a higher level of play as a team, you can still do it the traditional way. You don't have to add superstars left and right to get it done. You don't have to add left and right. And I mean, even on the other side of that, with the Phoenix Suns, I think the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be a contender. They're going to be a contender. That's a franchise that has new life now. I mean, I didn't believe it until they got to the conference finals. I had no belief in the Phoenix Suns just because I hadn't seen them play all year and I had no clue. But I see things about the Bucks. The Bucks were in the thick of it the entire season. I mean, they were what they were the third. Were they the third seed in this in the playoffs? I think they were third. I don't know if they might have been higher, but I think they were the third. I'm not 100% sure on that. But Phoenix is going to have, I mean, the powers, the perennial powers in the NBA are shifting again because, when you think that one way is the way to get it done, which you've been seeing out of teams on the West Coast with the Clippers, with the Lakers, with the Warriors over the last 2-3 years, last 5 years, the NBA started to kind of have this twisted perception of what a championship caliber team should look like. And I think this brings it back down and grounds it back to reality as to what's much more practical, not only for, the chemistry of the team, but also for the salary cap, but also for the ability to spend money. Like you can do it without blowing your back out. And that's why I'm excited for my Mavericks, because we've got the nucleus player, and there's nothing, trust me, there's no way that I can think of reasonably that Mark Cuban will allow Luka Doncic to leave Dallas. It's not going to happen. He will let every player on that roster go before he lets Luka Doncic even think for a moment that he could be getting traded or anything. Not going to happen. The Mavericks, showed that they should have beat the Clippers. If they had a little bit more on the offensive end to help Luka, they would have beat the Clippers. I mean, we all thought Porzingis was going to be the guy. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Porzingis. My goodness. But, Damian Lillard, he might be looking for somewhere to go. They say in LA, but I bet you one thing, I don't think he wants that kind of championship, especially how them guys were flexing on him in the bubble. I don't think he wants to play with those cats. I wouldn't want to play with them at all. If I was him, I'd be like, shit, let me go to Dallas. I'll run point with Luka, and we'll just tear the whole thing up. Then Porzingis might actually be a bigger use because he doesn't have to be the number 2. He doesn't have to. I mean, this guy likes to play outside the 3. You can put him in the elbow, put him on the corner. You can put him out there because you got 2 penetrators with Damian Lillard and Luka. They're gonna penetrate, and that's gonna leave. If they need to get it out wide to get a wide open shot, there you go. Boom. Porzingis, hit him in the corner every time. That's gonna be hard to stop if they can get him. That's gonna be hard to stop. Who said Chicago Bulls? Chicago Bulls? Man, ain't nobody going to Chicago for nothing. The Bulls ain't getting nothing. You can believe that. Huh. Yeah, I know y'all desperate. y'all made that bed yourself. You can always say y'all had MJ. You know what I mean? You can always say, hey, we had Jordan. Fuck you. That's really, that's really all y'all got going for y'all now at this point. Ain't no state taxes in Miami. Man, don't nobody give a damn when you making $40 million a year. These cats is over here smacking heads with the money they make. Shoot, Texas ain't got no income tax either. No state income tax neither. So shoot, come right on to Dallas, Dame. Shoot, you don't want to go to LA and pay no 9% on top of what you got to pay to the federal. Shoot, it's sick. Trust me, I done seen it. I done lived that life. And I was in a state with no income tax. Shoot. Shoot. I don't want none of that. But yeah, I think that this is just really, it's exciting to me to see this because, this cat's Nigerian, born in Greece, Nigerian family, Nigerian heritage, same as myself, born here, Nigerian parents, it's always good to see that, just somebody who has family that's come here from anywhere, because that's like that's what the American dream is supposed to be. Family comes from another country, comes to the U.S., builds their own, their own way in life, regardless of what path it goes down, and boom, they get to enjoy their success. And that's not something that we see enough of today. I mean, I know it's still out there. I would love for it to be more common for everybody, not even just immigrants. But he talks about that here. I'm gonna wrap this up with him talking about the motherland.
I've not
Signed your contract, your extension.
Every kid, anybody.
And what do you think about, do you know what you represent to the continent, and what do you think this title, those 2 trophies, mean to the continent?
I know, obviously I represent, my country, both countries, Nigeria and Greece. A lot of kids from there. But not just from Nigeria, from the whole Africa, whole Europe. I know that I'm a role model, but this should make every person, every kid, anybody around the world to believe in their dreams, and no matter whatever you feel, when you feel down, when things don't look like it's gonna happen for you, or you might not make it in your career, might be basketball, it might be anything. Just believe in what you're doing, keep working. Don't let nobody tell you what you can be or what you cannot do. People told me I can't make free throws. I made my free throws tonight.
We heard this part.
And I'm a freak.
All right, so he talked about that already earlier. Yeah, but it's a great story. It's a great story. This is a story, his story as a player. I remember when it was the Greek Freak, you know what I mean? That was his nickname when he started coming into his own. But the guy has accomplished a ton. He deserves the moment. I'm sure that he is enjoying the moment. I know there was some he had some videos posted, just kind of him running around Milwaukee in his car with the trophies with him. The whole city loves the guy, of course, obviously. They love him. He stuck with him, he stayed loyal, and he got the championship for them. Nobody can take it away. It's been 50 years, I think they said it was. Yeah, 50 years. You know, he scored 50 points. It's been 50 years. So, shoot, he got the keys to the city, and he is the face of the NBA. That's going to be it for this Lineman Life Live stream. I appreciate you guys very much for being in here. Once again, you guys are awesome. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. And if this is your first time, I see some new names in the chat. Make sure you smack that subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel, definitely think about hitting that join button. Definitely think about hitting that join button. But I am your observer lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys once again. I will see y'all on Friday. If there's anything that changes in the schedule, I'll let you guys know. Check the community tab on my main channel page for that. But I do appreciate you guys very much for being here. I will catch you all on the next one. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening. It's hump day. Catch y'all on the next stream, guys. Peace.